Okay, it's been a while, but let's just pay attention, please, to this board because there's some stuff up here that affects you that I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reread this article that you were supposed to have read already, only this time I'm going to give you some suggestions about how you read this, and then you're going to go on to Kia and just sort of answer some questions and see how the suggestions that I've made helped, hopefully, your understanding of this article. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do is just kind of reread this. And I am perfectly fine with you as we're going through this, sitting with a buddy if you want to kind of exchange ideas off each other, because one strategy that I'm going to suggest is that you kind of stop after each paragraph and think about what you've just read and reflect. So that's fine. I'm giving you permission to sit with someone and read this together. That doesn't look like one of the computers at the school game. Nope. So, have you had any? Okay, we're gonna help her later. Her problem is she feels like it's so short. She's just sticking with that. She doesn't know how to reach it. Okay, so this article is being given to you. I don't want to. I can't give you the answers, but I can tell you this: that the Kia that you're going to be answering in relationship to this is graded. It is a summative. Okay, but I saw the frown. But the good news for you is this. Let's say you take that summative and you don't do all that well. Do it again. And then you don't do well that next time. Do it again. Do it again and again and again and again and again and again. Okay. All right. So, those of you who just walked in, you need this. You need that article right there. So, okay, the first thing I want you to do is, as you're looking at this article, I want you to read the first paragraph. Just listen to my instructions. Read the first paragraph, and then read everything that's in bold, and then read the last paragraph. And then I want you to make some predictions about what you think this article is about. Okay, so once again, you're going to read the first paragraph, and then you're going to read what's in bold, numbered, and then you're going to read the last paragraph and make some predictions about what you think this article is going to be about. Go ahead. By the way, you can mark this all up. Mark it all up if you want. Give you 2 minutes here. Did Manley Halster walk in? Sorry, yep. And how about Dawson Monty? Did he walk in? Dawson? Nope. Nick Moore? Nope. Leah Nerby? Yep. And Rachel Webb? Brandon Wright? Okay. When you think you've done that, I want you to find a neighbor and just sort of chat about what do you think this article is about. And sort of part and parcel to that is those 10 statements that are in bold. What is going on with those 10 statements? What are those 10 statements? Are those 10 statements that this article is defending or refuting? What is going on with those 10 statements? Go ahead and have a little chat with a neighbor or a group of people. Give me another 30 seconds here. That's right.
The one about the school shooting. The lack of official care in schools has spawned negative consequences such as violence and school shootings. Because I'm sure that's the reason.
All right. By now, hopefully you sort of have a kind of a gist as to what this article is about. So this is what I'm now going to ask you to do. Read it. I want you to read this whopping 3 pages, all 3 pages, okay? And feel free to mark up. Basically, this is what I want you to know. What is the argument being made in response to all 10 emboldened statements? Right? What's the response that the author is making? Can you in a nutshell say, here's the response to claim number 4?
You just like write down.
And you could write right on it. Yep. Okay. This, by the way, is a skill, your ability to read text and summarize it in a few words. Okay. And again, you can be reading with a buddy if you want. That's just fine. Okay. I'm going to give you, I'll check back with you when the big hand is on the 3. So about 6 minutes. Okay. And you can. How are we doing? Does anyone need another minute or two? Okay, check back in a couple minutes. For those of you who are ahead, your next step is go to Kia, find the reading summative assessment. Don't answer any of the questions, just look at all the questions. Kia allows you to skip without answering. Okay, so I just want you to look at all the questions without answering them. Just look at all the questions. Get your mind working on it. Okay? Don't answer the questions. If you're not there, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's fine. It's easy. Sorry, Jack. Grab your stuff. Whatever password you use, I do not know. So it's got to sound your. The code is. So I should inform you of something. If you went on and started the summative, I bet you got some questions wrong that you know are right, but you got them wrong. Because I intentionally chose the wrong answer as the right answer because I told you not to do the questions yet. So now I just fixed it. So now if you take it, if it's right, you'll get it right now. So you can do it again, okay? But please, will you just try my little experiment of just looking at all the questions before you answer them? Because I'm about to explain to you a theory that exists. And it only works if you look at all the questions first. Then you go back and answer them. And the theory don't want to interrupt. Is anyone not done reading the article? Which is okay. I just need to know that. You've all read the article. Okay. The theory goes like this. You should look at the questions, all of them, before answering them, because what happens is your brain is an amazing thing. And while you are going back to the first question and trying to answer it, guess what your brain's doing? Figuring out the answers to all the others. Subconsciously. It's working on them already. Have you ever had that experience where, oh my God, you can't think of that one thing. You can't think of it. You can't think of it. And then in bed that night, it's like, Billy! Or whatever it is. You know what happened? Your brain was working on it all day and finally found the neural connection to Billy, which is what we named our vacuum. Anyway, so I'm going to have you go ahead and take a shot and answer the 6-question Kia. Feel free to kind of look for the answer in the article. Go ahead, find the answer in the article and take it. And my recommendation is don't settle for anything under maybe 1 wrong or less. If you get more than 1 wrong, do it again. Okay. I'll give you a chance to do it now, but just have it completed by, it says here, Thursday. Have a score that you're happy with by Thursday. Okay. But I'll give you 2 minutes here though. And if you don't have to finish it, you can stop before finishing it. So if you want to answer 3 now and then stop, great. I'm going to start talking when the big hand's on the 5. Before you leave, one thing. So I'm going to say now. The second thing I want you to do on Kia by Thursday is the survey. The survey is on Kia. It's up there somewhere. Survey is due tomorrow. It take you 2 minutes. The survey is you evaluating me as far as this class is concerned. I will find out who you are. No, okay. I will not find out who you are. It's completely anonymous. So if you want to rip me a new one, be my guest. I'll never figure out who you are. I'll try. No, I won't try. Okay. So just how this class is going so far. Okay.
We can't really rip me a new one because all we do is tap dots. We can't like type.
There's no place for commentary.
I didn't see one.
I'm sorry, Jack. I hurt my feelings. I will do some direct instruction at 10:30. Okay. So you have a few minutes.
Can you see which ones you got wrong?
Not yet. Oh, yeah, I think you can actually. Doesn't it say at the end?
Oh, I
Isn't it
don't-
summarized? Yeah. You have to finish it, and then it'll show you. That's because it's possible that the one you did before had the answers that were right part wrong, because I did that intentionally. So it's hard.
I was just confused.
No. You did fine. You did. Still have about 2 minutes to do the survey and finish up this little 6-question. Oh. Well, that's because you haven't presented it.
No,
Well, you did the podcast. You write me a note saying you did it. Okay, 'cause you didn't get to it.
okay.
That's fine. Your name on it? That will be fixed.
When you get, like, are we done with our computers after this?
Maybe not. There might be some chance for you to work on your next summary. I'll take it back. Yeah, if you're done with your article, I can take it back. It's fine.
Okay, it's written.
Feel free to keep it. Yeah, if you wrote all over it, I don't want it. Name is fine. That's fine. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then she told me that it wasn't. Well, no.
Okay, I'm gonna start talking. So kind of wrap up whatever it is you're doing. If you're doing the Kia, save it for later. You can go back and resume, pick up right up where you left off, or you can start over. So just to sort of summarize, I've given you a few I'm sure many of you do this anyway, but I've given you a few strategies about how, when you're given a lengthy piece of writing, how do you approach it? And I've given you a few suggestions. Specifically, well, before I tell you, tell me what you heard me say. You're given a text, a piece of text. How might you approach it? Go ahead.
Read the first paragraph and read all the gold and read the last paragraph.
Okay, very good. So that's called surveying it. You survey it. You sort of read how it starts, then you just sort of pick and choose parts of it through, and then you read how it ends. You survey it. Now your brain has created something called prior knowledge. That's how you learn. Your brain learns by connecting new things to things you already know. Well, when you survey it, there's your base layer. Okay? Anything else? What's another strategy you might use when you're reading text? You survey it, now what? That's it, you survey it, there. Then you throw it away. Make it into a paper airplane. I have failed. I have failed if that's all you learned. I apologize. I apologize to you and your family. I have wasted your time.
Read the question.
No, I'm not calling on him. but maybe somebody heard what he said. Yes. Very good. Look at all the questions. Then now when you're reading, you are reading for a purpose. You know what you're looking for. Read all the questions. Then you go back and read the material itself, and now you're reading for a purpose. And studies show that if you read for a purpose, you read more effectively. Where might this kick in? The ACT. Did you know that our school has as a school goal? Apparently, Somerset is kind of sucky at reading. Did you know that?
Mhm.
That we placed dead last in the conference in the ACT scores last year. Now, that's not you, unless you're a senior, then it is you. Sorry, Jack. Sorry. Something tells me that you two brought the curve up rather than down. Probably. Okay. Look at all the when you're doing the ACT and there's a big 3-paragraph thing and then there are 6 questions underneath. Survey it. Then look at the questions. Then you go back and read it. Right? Now you're building layers of understanding, and that's how you read effectively. You don't just read it out of the blue. Survey it. Look at the questions. Now go back and read for understanding. Read for a purpose. Did we miss anything? I think that was basically it. Survey it. Look at the questions. Oh, and as you're reading it, stop. Stop after each paragraph. Think about what you just read and maybe write down an idea or two. So survey it. Look at the questions, and after each chunk, stop, think about what you just read. Okay? Enough of that? Okay, let's finally start learning about cults. Okay? So, you might wonder, the stuff I'm presenting to you, are you being held accountable for it? Is there a test or something? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's just sort of interesting, okay? So, let's start looking at something called the nature of religion. What is the point of religion? And I am now talking to 33-ish students, and some of you are very religious, awesome, and some of you aren't, awesome. You're all welcome here. What questions does religion answer that math can't answer, that science can't answer? What is the point of religion? Anyone have some thoughts here? There's no right or wrong answer here. Go ahead. Like what? How about this one? Hard question. If Pinocchio makes this statement, I am telling a lie, does his nose grow? What do you have to say? Catholicism. What say you, Judaism? Is that a hard question? Is that the kind of hard question that you're talking about? No. By the way, what do you think? Because no matter what, you're wrong, right? If his nose grows, then it's a lie. But if he's telling the truth that this statement is a lie, then his nose shouldn't grow because it's the truth. But he's not lying. He's telling the truth. But the truth is that he's lying.
Is there a lie prior to that?
No.
Then
He no longer has a
Okay,
nose.
what questions are you talking about?
Kind of like why we're here, how everything, whatever.
Oh, look at that. Why are we here? What is the point? Go ahead.
What happens after
Ooh, there's a good one. What happens after you die, right? Some of you say nothing. And some of you think you meet some white guy and a big beard and he's got a staff and great. Go ahead.
Life is just like this really big boulder that we have to push a really long way. And religion is just like something that helps you push the boulder.
Wow. Okay. All right. So religion, let's define it this way. I'm gonna throw out a definition that I think everyone here is comfortable with, no matter your level of spirituality. Religion attempts to answer that which is otherwise unanswerable. Right? Why are we here? Well, science will say, well, because a billion years ago, everything in existence fit in the size of a pin. Did you know that you're mostly empty space? You know that? That the distance between the protons and the neutrons in all of you to the electrons that swing around proportionally is greater than the distance between the sun and Jupiter. You are as empty as our solar system. Theoretically, she should be able to run at that wall and run right through it because all of her molecules missed all of the wall's molecules. Now, go try it. Nah, yeah, okay. Science can't answer those questions, but what science can't answer is why? Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? What happens after you die? Why do we suffer? What is the point of suffering? Why does God allow for hurricanes? Why does God allow for the Holocaust? Science can't answer those questions. Math, there's no equation that Schultz will say like, well, X plus Y, Holocaust. No, that doesn't work that way. There's no math that can answer those questions. Okay.
You can take a picture of that and send it to the CIS.
Math, yeah. Okay. Again, no need for you to take notes. This is just sort of interesting. Look at these isms. These are all isms. You're looking at math and saying, but math isn't an ism. Yes, it is. Mathism. All of these are isms that answer questions. Math answers the question, what's 2 plus 2? Right? That's an ism. Atheism basically has an answer to these, and to all of them, it's like, there's no answer. Atheism says, well, why are we here? I don't know, because molecules, science. What's life's purpose? I don't know. Whatever you want it to be, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Communism is an economic system. Even history is an ism. Historism. Okay? The only ism that answers these is religionism. Religion is the thing that answers these questions.
There's a bunch of branches of atheism that answer those 4 questions in different ways.
Probably. Yeah.
Nihilism is like, why are we here?
Nihilism, yes. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yep. According to this definition of religion is the attempt to answer that which is otherwise unanswerable. According to that definition, most people are religious. Most of you in this room are religious. And you might belong to some dominant religious organizations. Now, I'm not going to, but I could say, all right, how many of you are Roman Catholic? How many of you go to that church over there, St. Anne's, right? You're Catholic. Or how many of you are Lutheran? Or how many of you are Anglican or Muslim or Hindu or any of these other dominant religious organizations? These are old, most of them are very old religions. They've been around for thousands of years. They're well established. There's usually a building that sole purpose is that religion, right? There's a building down this road, and it's St. Anne's Church. That's what it is. It's a church. That's what it is. But there are also religious organizations that meet in someone's basement once a week. That's someone's house. That suggests another type of religious organization. Not one of these old, dominant religious organizations. These are some other reasons why religion exists, just some things to think about. Religion allows you to do something about something that awful that happened. Anyone know what happened 2 years ago today in Vegas? 2 years ago today. Sorry? Well, in this case, no. Yes. Yeah. The worst mass shooting in American history. That guy with a high-powered rifle shot right out of the Bellagio Hotel and shot those people that were at that concert. That was 2 years ago today. Okay. You know what some people did about that? I'm not trying to be sarcastic here. I mean this. What some people did about it was that they prayed. They prayed. And they believe, and maybe some of you believe, that you engaging in prayer helped that situation that happened a couple thousand miles west of here. That you believe in the power of prayer. And by the way, awesome. If you believe that that's true, awesome. That's one thing religion does. It allows you to do something about awful things that happen out there. What can you do about it? You can pray. And that makes you feel better. Okay? It forces you to think about the big picture. What is this all about? Life on earth. Why? Religion helps you answer that question. Okay? And it gives meaning to suffering. Right? Christians believe, any of you that are Christian, have you ever heard this? Like, what's your cross to bear? You ever heard something like that? Maybe your cross to bear is that you are poor, or that your parents are divorced, or what is it that burdens you? And you're going to pick that cross up and you're going to live a good life. And that it's religion that gives your life meaning sometimes. Let's keep going here. Looking at the upper picture, what are we looking at? Who are those people? Any thoughts? You don't know who that is? Those are gods. That's right. Those are gods. What gods? Greek and Roman gods. These are Greek and Roman gods. Okay. Let's see. Anyone know who this fellow is with the trident?
Poseidon.
That's Poseidon, god of water. That's right. Who's this pretty fast guy
Hermes.
with the little wings on his ankles?
Hermes.
Hermes. Yeah. Okay. Who's this guy that seems to be pretty full of himself?
Narcissus.
Very good. Narcissus. Who's this guy who seems to be the head honcho? Zeus. All right. You know these people.
If you want to bet, they all know that because of Hercules.
Yeah, I think one of the purposes of Disney movies is to perpetuate. You know that cartoon movies have helped keep classical music alive and folklore alive. It's weird. You don't think of a Disney movie as saving Mozart, but in large measure, that's exactly what happened. Okay, so let's just think about these gods. Are they good? Are they good beings? Is Zeus a good dude?
No,
Where did Hercules come from?
not his wife.
Zeus raped a woman. Zeus came to Earth and was bored one day, found a woman, and raped her. That's a god. That's a god that the Romans and Greeks prayed to. Would you call raping a woman by a god a good act? Nope. Awful. These gods are terrible. They're awful, shallow, selfish. They demand human sacrifice. They're terrible creatures sometimes. Okay? But they are conscious. Let's create a spreadsheet here. This is just sort of, eraser. All right. So, moral? Question mark. Conscious? Question mark. Greek and Roman gods. Are they moral creatures? Do they embody right and wrong, good and evil? No. They're terrible. They rape and pillage. Zeus sends locusts to eat half the crops of Greece just because he's bored one day. Yeah, there's no morality there. But are they conscious? Do these people have brains?
Yeah.
Can you pray to them?
Yes.
All right. What am I looking at now? The yin and yang. What is that? What is yin yang? Balance. Balance, Daniel-san. Karate no here. Karate here. And here. And here. Okay. Yeah, very good. Anyone have any insight? What am I looking at? What is that thing? What do you mean balance? What does it mean? Yes.
The good and the bad and the
Very good. This suggests good and evil. And do you notice that in all good, there's a little evil? And in all evil, there's a little good, right? That all of us are capable of good and evil. This is exemplified by what are called Eastern religions. Eastern religions. Buddhism, Hinduism, okay? Are they moral? Do they teach right and wrong? Yeah. But in large part, their gods are not, you don't pray to the yin yang god. It just is. Yin yang just is. It's like the Force. By the way, that's a religion. There is an actual group of people that watched those movies and said, yes, that is truth. that there's the Force. But those of you who are Star Wars fans, the Force is no conscious being. Now there are some spiritual. I mean, Yoda's still out there, I guess, and as a ghost or something, and apparently Luke is too. But the Force itself is not a conscious being, right? That's the second group. And then what you have are called Western religions. Western religions. Most of you in this room are probably a member of a Western religion. You're Catholic, you're Christian, you're Lutheran, right? Those of you who are religious, does your religion teach you right and wrong? What you should or shouldn't do? Yeah. Does your religion have a conscious God that you can talk to? Sure. Yeah, you pray to God. Look at that. So in ancient religions, they were conscious, but they were not moral. In Eastern religions, it's moral, but they're not conscious. And then in Western religions, they teach you right and wrong, and there is a communication between you and the Almighty, whatever that is. Neat little spreadsheet here. Basically, the basic differences that exist between dominant religions that have existed. So this spreadsheet over here is basically these words, right? It's the same. Not all religions link morality and specific belief. You got your ancient Greek and Roman gods who were terrible. They were awful. But then you had your moral religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. They teach right and wrong. But then you have your Eastern religions where there's no conscious God. Taoism, as an example. These are Eastern religions: China, India, Japan. One slide left, and then we can end it for today. This is just sort of an interesting world map that shows basically regions of the world and what religions dominate. So if you're like me, you always kind of find where you live, and we live right there. And you can see that we're kind of this tannish color, right? And what does that mean? Anyone know what this sort of this tannish color means? Yeah, if we travel down, it looks like this color is Protestantism. Did you know that the United States is mostly, of the people who are religious, most people who are religious in the US are Protestant? Again, no need to raise your hand, but how many of you are Protestant? If right now you're thinking, I don't know what that means. Are you Christian, but not Catholic? If you are Christian, but not Catholic, you are Protestant. Okay, that's you. Okay. Anyone know what's the star supposed to mean? What is that? Right, Jewish religion. You'll notice on this world map something that's sort of interesting, that the Jewish religion is sort of kind of spread out everywhere, but they're not dominant anywhere. They're everywhere, but not dominant anywhere. They are a minority religion everywhere. How many of you find that kind of interesting? How many of you have just had an aha moment about the Jewish people? Does anyone know why the Jewish religion looks like this? Why are they spread out so much? Why aren't they concentrated in any specific area? What happened to the Jewish people? Yeah. Very good, right? That the Jewish people originated in this region here, but various invasions by empires, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, kicked them out, right? The Egyptians took over and said, all right, Jews, get out of here. Well, where'd they go? Well, some of them moved here, some of them moved there, some of them moved here. Okay? The sending out of the Jewish people so that they were not dominant anywhere meant that there was a small Jewish population in Russia, Italy, Germany. And when you're a minority population, here's the aha moment, and we'll end it. When you're a minority population and things go bad wherever you are, guess who they blame? You. It's your fault. Hey, how come Europe just had 1/3 of its population get wiped out in the 1500s? They didn't say, well, it's probably because some disease in rats. Jews. It was the Jews, and we need to kick them out of Europe. Hey, how come we lost World War I? Asked Germany. The Jews. They're the ones to blame. The minority population. That is why, right? History suggests that's why Jews are spread out everywhere. Okay. Just some other kind of interesting things to note. Africa is blue. A lot of local religions. A lot of what we call ancestor worship. You worship your ancestors, right? The totem poles. Those totem poles are your ancestors. I think we'll end it there for today. Okay, very good. Again, remember, finish that summative on that reading text and then do the survey. This class is over, by the way, at 54, right? It's mod 8. That's not right. Mod 7, 57. So you're in here for a few more minutes. Just relax.